Hello, and welcome back to me awkwardly holding a microphone as I refuse to figure out my tech issues. So, I've been actually sewing. For once in my life, I actually sewed stuff. I'm pretty proud of myself. And my July project was just getting my Alice's favorite table runner done. This is fabric from, I want to say, 23, Minnesota Shop Hop 23, I believe was the year with all these really pretty monarchs, but I could be wrong. It might have been 22 or something, but I did do the same kind of monarchs on the back. It's just the green colorway, which is really cute. I like it. I think it's nice. I have no use for it though, so now I'm in this weird spot where, like, with everything I've created this year, what do I do with it now? Because I have a tendency to just buy things I want to make, but I don't really think about where are they going to go, what's going to happen to them. This is part of my problem. But let's just take a moment to talk about how the year has gone with my 12 projects. I rewatched a couple of my videos just to see what's been happening. Checked out my May-June update because I was like, what did I actually talk about in there? Because I wanted to talk about some things in here. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, we hit the halfway point of the year and I did not talk about where do we stand on my projects and how am I doing on the list. So we're going to discuss that. So then I wanted to watch my recap to see if I actually have made more progress than I thought I have, which is what's happened. And yeah, so we're going to discuss quite a few things and kind of go from there. So last year, I did 4 out of my 12 projects. I was a bit disappointed, but I had made a goal of just wanting to complete about 12 projects for the year, and that the list had just kind of been a guideline and a suggestion if I would like to finish them. Basically, if I wanted to sew, I had a direction to go and be like, oh, well, this is my project of the month, so I'm going to sew on this. And that was how I did things last year. I only completed 4 out of the 12, though, which sucked. And it really was kind of a bummer, mainly because at one point I had really had the motivation to finish one of the projects that is still on my list, and I didn't do it because I was like, well, it hasn't come up yet. The number hasn't come up, so I'm not going to do it. And I really should have just done it and gotten it over with because that would have been the smart thing to do, but, I wasn't smart. So this year, I am very happy I did stuff early. When I wanted to do it, or if I saw the need to do it, or just wanted to work on it. I have a lot of larger projects this year, I think. That's been nice to be like, hey, I am interested in cutting the blocks for that. Well, then let's cut the blocks for that. So we're going to kind of give a little update on things, and the ones that aren't done, we're going to discuss kind of what's going on with them, along with what did we actually get done this year. I'm not showing all my projects again. One, they're kind of everywhere. I'm not willing to collect them and find them all. And I also just don't want to because I have to hold a microphone this video. And as we saw with the table runner, holding things up for you is going to be complicated. So let's discuss first. 1, I've already completed 5 on my list. There's 5 checked off of my list, which is better than last year, which I just rewatched my video of my 2024 projects. So if you want to see what's all on my list and where they started, I would suggest that video. Go watch that. At the very end, I say I would like to complete 5 of the projects on here because that would be better than last year. And you know what? Girl, I did that. July has crossed the 5th one off. Ta-da! So we are 5 out of 7 for the year. Honestly, I didn't really think about it, but I have completed my goal, and I'm actually really excited about that, and I'm very, very happy. It was the mood booster I wanted, because I was kind of being like, I haven't finished all of them, though. I wanted to finish all of them. No, I actually only wanted to finish 5. So we're doing really good, that means. So I'm really excited. The 2 that have not been finished, the Hungry Caterpillar quilt, which I am at a point now, I'm not even sure if I do want to quilt that. It might be something that just sits in my closet for a few more years until I find a reason to be like, I really want to quilt that. It's the Hungry Little Caterpillar. It's so cute. part of my intimidation is that my free motion quilting isn't quite where I want it to be. I've mentioned this multiple times. If you watch all of my videos, I'm sorry. You get to hear this same old song and dance over and over and over. But my free motion quilting isn't that good. So I need to practice more. That is not the quilt to practice on, though. So that's going to probably go back into the closet for a minute to like literally sit there and wait till I feel more confident and then can quilt it and then possibly keep it and hang it on the wall, possibly gift it to some small child. I'm uncertain. I really love the Hungry Caterpillar, so it's like sentimental value is very strong in this. The other project that I have not finished this year did get some progress in the month of July. It is the button patch quilt. I'm just going to hold up the bag because I'm unwilling to fully do a whole unboxing of everything. But like I realized like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, that button patch was going to need a sample block. Now I know you're supposed to make like a practice block for quilts. I've never done that though. I don't know if that's because I'm too, got too much of an ego as a quilter or what, but this was a new, like, skill building quilt. I didn't want to ruin any of the beautiful fabric I had picked out for this by just, like, going into it. I do have all the blocks cut, though, so if I screwed up in that, it's too late. We're gonna go for it in full send. But this was really nice. I haven't finished the block, but it has been, we're learning things. I will say that much. I am learning things. So there is progress. It's going to be slow progress, and I'm trying to allow myself to take as long as I want so that it's not an incredibly frustrating project. I'm trying to still enjoy it. I really love the fabrics. I picked out some cute fabric fat quarters to cut up and get ready for that practice block from my destashed list, since I didn't want to just like ruin some of my really nice fabric, all that jazz. So button patch has had work on it, which is important and good, and I'm very excited about that. So the rest of the projects this year, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not looking forward to really any of them. I have still Joe's Feather quilt, the Arctic Feathers by Elizabeth Hartman, and I have my Legend of Zelda quilt that I made in a beginner class years ago. I have that Disney Villains panel, which is just a nightmare waiting to happen, in my opinion. My unicorn quilt kit, which is huge. It's going to be fussy cutting in a sense because it's all panel printed, so it's not going to be on grain. Like it's going to be a pain. I'm not like, there is a part of me that is just really not excited about that. There's also a part of me that I'm sure is going to have at some point this year, hopefully, that's going to go, ooh, unicorns. And then I'll want to do it. And hopefully I will take that moment and actually do it. The last one that I have to get is the Winnie the Pooh table runner. I have yet to do that one. My last 5 projects for the year are not things I'm excited about, particularly interested in. The button patch one is the most exciting one in my opinion. I want to get that feathers quilt done. It's been like 3 years now of me like slowly making progress on it. This has all been exciting and everything, but I have gotten distracted by a scrap quilt. I'm working on a scrap quilt. The pattern is called Fun and Games. Designers Joe Kramer and Kelli Hanken. Yeah. Again, another Quilt Magazine one, in case you are curious. Better Homes and Garden, American Patchwork and Quilting. This is issue 164, June 2020. I bought it secondhand at like a bookstore, so very excited. I have been doing a bunch of green blocks in it. I've slightly modified the pattern, by the way. I am doing 2.5-inch blocks with 5-inch charms because that is just easier for me. So it's gonna be slightly bigger than their like 41 inches finished, but not by much. It's not. I've slightly changed the dimensions, just very ever so slightly. If I remember, photo here of what the stuff I have hanging on my wall looks like. That's really cool and far more interesting than me holding up 4 patches. So there's that. But that's what I've been kind of working on, because that's been fast and easy and so much less stressful on my brain than the button patch quilts. So that I really should be working on, but I'm not going to, and I'm not going to pressure myself to. This thing, part of this is also that I haven't really allowed myself to work on anything that's off of my list, because I'm like, well, I have a whole 12 projects. Pick one of those. They're all in different states. Yes, but I don't want to work on them. So I've been allowing myself to find stuff. I also want this green quilt out of the way, because I've had these blocks. This was supposed to be like my second quilt ever, was this like green, all this green fabric. This is so exciting to get these out of my stash and to be like, they will be gone and I will only have like 20 left instead of 200 or whatever I had. I'm very thrilled with that. I want a new scrap quilt is also part of it. My scrap stash has gotten quite large. I would really like to be able to find a new scrap quilt to work on so that I can actually get somewhere. I have a lot of scraps. I have plenty of things that I would really like to be able to like as like my in-between fabric things so that I can kind of like secondhand work on a quilt while working on a main quilt. That kind of stuff. I don't know if that makes sense. My leaders and followers kind of idea while I chain piece. I need a new one of that because I'm really sick of these green blocks. So plus I just needed a mindless project. I got my mindless project out of the way for the most part. But yeah, that's been the quilts I've been working on. I've actually had a productive, last week. That's basically when I've been quilting, is the last week. So not much has been happening for me. At the time of filming this, though, Minnesota Quilt Shop Hop 2024 has started. I rewatched my video from last year. I'm sad. That's all I can say. I have gotten very little done with anything I bought from last year. Both kits that were specifically the Shop Hop 23 fabric kits have been untouched. Most of that Halloween fabric, the fat quarter bundles I bought, are cut up and ready to go for button patch though. So that's exciting. The one block wonder quilt I have gotten so many questions about. So many people keep asking me, how is it going? What is going on with it? How has it progressed? And basically I got about a month and a half of work on it. I did quite a bit. I got all the blocks cut. I got everything cut. I figured out the layout. The problem is that this is a quilt that really needs to be constantly laid out so that I can pick a couple pieces and I can meticulously sew stuff together. And I just haven't really had the time and desire to do that kind of a quilt. I am getting into the point where I would love to work and unravel and iron out that quilt again though, because working on this quilt has been making me go, maybe I don't mind this. I think this also comes back to, I just want to work on tops. I don't want to quilt the quilt. So I think there's some of that's happening too, where I don't want to quilt the quilt. I just want to make the tops. And so getting to work on fun tops is fun. I haven't finished anything from last year that I bought. And I still have things from 2 years ago that I haven't finished. But I did go shopping. I did something out of this new batch of fabric. Most of it, not my jam. But there was a really cute duck, duck, gray duck panel. And yes, if you are not from Minnesota, that is how it's correctly said. It is duck, duck, gray duck. So I have bought one kit. And it's this cute kit for duck, duck, gray duck. It's a Minnesota thing. And so I'm really excited about this. The store I bought it from is actually one of the quilt kits I bought last year and still haven't done. But this quilt kit I'm really excited about. And then the only other thing, well, I did buy one block quilt, one block specifically kit. It's very cute. It was just for funsies and I wanted to support the store. Anywho's, but I also found out that Riley Blake has done another Barbie collab and I bought a fat quarter bundle. Honey, this thing's gonna get used. I am like forcing myself to not look at patterns because I really need to work on other things because I'm actually excited to work on stuff. And I always love looking at patterns. So I'm not worried about, ooh, what can this go to? I will be able to find something for a fat quarter bundle. It will happen. I'm not concerned. I am done shop hopping this year. I just don't care this year. I can't. After last year and like seeing how much I spent and then on top of that, not doing any of it, I did not finish any of it. That's the problem to me. How do I go through this? I don't finish anything. And now I'm like trying to like justify shopping again this year. No. That's not happening. I want to use some of the stuff I have. I'm actually very excited about a lot of the stuff I have. So why not finish it? I'm also really bummed with myself because there's a lot of stuff I do want to work on and then I fall out of love with it because it sits on my shelf for so long that I no longer want to do it. I'm not okay with that. I don't want to do that this year, which is why I'm trying to just allow myself to make things as I want to. Hence, working on a bunch of green stuff because I actually wanted to. Also, my one block wonder, I'm interested in doing stuff like that. And now that I know I've done my 5 out of 12 that I was wanting to do better than last year, I feel better. And knowing that my hungry caterpillar is probably not going to change its status also makes me feel better. I do plan on getting a couple of the other ones. Like I would like to get them to a further status, like further into the process. There's a lot of things and a lot of factors I have to consider. The name of the game right now is trying to get more out of my quilting process. I have to slow down, that means, and like take time to work on quilts. That's important to me. So I don't know what's going to happen next year for my 12 projects of the year. I really like the idea of it. I think I need to be more realistic with myself and possibly make projects like a 2-month thing. So like I take a project that's at the very beginning and I give myself 2 months to do the entire thing. So, and that would include the quilting. Basically make the top in a month, quilt it in another month. That would be my idea to it. I think that's going to be more realistic for me because I am staring down the barrel of quite a few quilts that will take me far longer than a month and I'm nowhere close. I mean, the button patch quilt alone, I did a lot of it in January and I slowly kept finishing it throughout the months. And I finally finished cutting blocks in July. What? I haven't even sewn the actual quilt at all yet. I've literally just started the sample block. Like that's it. That's all I've done. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this helps you understand the craziness inside my brain and that I am doing things just a lot more like thinking about my crafting right now and what I want to be doing. And in case you're curious, I am still crocheting and I did take up knitting. I'm working on socks. It's great. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace out. I will see you at the end of August.